This week's news packs a punch. Spider-Man 4 gets prominent casting additions from Stranger Things. The film adaptation of the comic BRZRKR by and starring Keanu Reeves has finally found its director, and Marvel plans to bring the Defenders into the MCU for an extremely popular series. That and plenty more, now in the KinoCheck news. With the Keanu Reeves film BRZRKR, a highly anticipated project has finally found its director. As The Hollywood Reporter points out, it's someone who's very much at home in the action genre. Fast and Furious director Justin Lin. BRZRKR is a comic book series that Keanu Reeves himself developed and wrote together with author Matt Kindt. Netflix now wants to adapt the comics into a movie. The story revolves around the immortal warrior B, a demigod who has been living on Earth for 80,000 years. Born to a human father and a divine mother, he was brought into the world to be invincible, and his life is marked by endless violence, as he's fought and killed in countless conflicts. However, this immortality is not only a gift, but also a curse that consumes B's body and soul. He's now in the service of the US government and fights battles for them that are too violent and too dangerous for others. With Justin Lin, a veteran of the Fast and Furious franchise, has now been appointed as director. He directed the films from Part 3 to 6 of the series until he returned as director for Fast and Furious 9. Lin has also directed Star Trek Beyond and 2 episodes of the acclaimed crime series True Detective. The screenplay for BRZRKR was written by Mattson Tomlin, who worked on the action film Project Power and is also involved in the upcoming The Batman 2. In addition to the film adaptation, Netflix is also planning a series based on the comic universe, and Tomlin will be involved in this as a writer as well. Due to the early stages of development, it's not clear yet when we can expect the movie and the series of BRZRKR, but we'll of course keep you up to date. Everyone is talking about one particular series, Daredevil Born Again. The first season of the revival recently kicked off, and the reactions have been extremely positive. And there are already plans for more, as the 9 episodes of the first season will not be enough. A second season has already been confirmed, and according to a Marvel insider, there could be a reunion of the Defenders in the next season. Some time ago, we already reported that Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist could become part of the MCU in the future. Brad Winderbaum, who's responsible for streaming and series at Marvel, revealed this in an interview with the industry magazine Entertainment Weekly. It was all a question of time, the availability of the actors, and the production costs. According to him, the integration of the Defenders into the MCU is an extremely exciting creative task that is definitely being thought about. Marvel insider Alex Perez has now revealed via the Cosmic Circus that the Defenders are expected to return in Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. He's curious to see how the characters will be integrated into Season 2, and above all, how Matt Murdock can persuade them to return. However, it should be noted that this information must clearly be treated as a rumor. There's no official confirmation as of yet. The introduction of the characters in Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again certainly sounds plausible. After all, Jon Bernthal's Punisher is another character from the Netflix Marvel cosmos celebrating his comeback. As we've already reported, this will even be followed by a so-called Punisher special, so it's therefore possible that a similar approach will be taken with the Defenders. The production of Spider-Man 4 is finally making progress. As Deadline revealed, Stranger Things star Sadie has now been cast for a hitherto unknown role. Early speculation suggests that she could play Jean Grey, one of the most well-known characters from the X-Men universe. And this would be a clear sign of the planned integration of the mutants into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, another iconic character from the Spider-Man universe would also be possible. The options include Mary Jane Watson or a new version of Gwen Stacy. Indeed, there are plenty of rumors regarding Spider-Man 4. Sydney Sweeney could possibly take on the role of Black Cat. Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil, could also make a return. After all, he already had a brief appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home and can currently be seen in the series Daredevil Born Again on Disney+. For fans of Peter Parker's great love, Michelle Jones, however, there's some disappointment. Zendaya is only to play a small role in Spider-Man 4. The actress is also scheduled to play in Dune 3 Messiah after all. MJ's limited presence does make sense, as she can no longer remember Peter after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Tom Holland is likewise very busy at the moment. The actor is in front of the camera for Christopher Nolan's blockbuster The Odyssey. So he'll only be able to start work on the new Spider-Man film once the project has been completed. This means that production should be in full swing by the end of this year at the latest. Whether the scheduled release date of July 31st, 2026 can then still be realized remains to be seen. Week after week, action fans can currently look forward to new episodes of the highlight series Reacher. Season 3 is slowly coming to an end, but that's by no means the final chapter, as a 4th season of the Amazon series has already been commissioned. Based on statements by author Lee Child and lead actor Alan Ritchson, it's already possible to speculate which novel could be adapted this time. In an interview with The Independent, the author revealed which book from his Jack Reacher saga he'd like to see next in a series format. One of his personal favorites would be the novel The Midnight Line. In it, Jack Reacher happens to find a military academy graduation ring at a pawnbroker. He wants to find out who the ring belongs to and why someone would give it away. So Reacher sets off in search of the owner and stumbles upon a criminal network. Important themes in the novel are the opioid crisis in the United States and the perspective of addicts. In addition to Lee Child, Jack Reacher actor Alan Ritchson has also expressed his fondness for The Midnight Line. Whether the book will be adapted for the 4th season is not assured, however. After all, there's plenty to choose from. The book series will soon consist of 30 novels. It's possible that The Midnight Line could also be the inspiration for a potential 5th season. But one thing seems certain, there probably won't be too long of a break between Season 3 and 4. In an interview with the portal Tech Radar, Child announced that the scripts for Season 4 have already been written and that filming is scheduled for summer 2025. A release in the course of 2026 can therefore be anticipated. It's been 4 years since we last enjoyed the second part of the A Quiet Place series in theaters. Last year, the prequel A Quiet Place Day 1 was also released, but now the main film series is finally set to continue. A Quiet Place 3 is officially in development. Producer Brad Fuller confirmed to The Direct that he's currently working on the sequel, but that it is difficult to get director John Krasinski to work on the project again. He currently has a packed schedule. Quote, "We're starting to put it together right now. You know, when we made the first one, John didn't have a lot on his plate. He had just come off The Office and he wanted to be a director. Now, he's so in demand, and it's hard to get to him. He's making a movie now, so as soon as he finishes that, hopefully he will turn his attention to A Quiet Place 3. Lead actress Emily Blunt also commented on the future of the film series, emphasizing that she would only return for the 3rd installment if her husband were to direct again. Quote, "I don't want to be with a different director if we did it again." Yeah, given the delays, a theatrical release before 2027 is unlikely. Originally scheduled for release this year, this date was pushed back in favor of the development of the prequel A Quiet Place Day 1. Further details on the plot or cast of A Quiet Place 3 have yet to be revealed. At last, the release date for the eagerly awaited Resident Evil reboot has been announced. According to the trade magazine Deadline, the new adventure from Raccoon City will be presented to us on the big screen starting September 18th, 2026. Not many details about the new film are known yet, but one piece of news is already creating great expectations among horror fans. The director of the reboot will be Zach Kreger. Now, this name is likely to be familiar mainly to the fans of the genre, as Kreger surprised everyone 3 years ago with the horror film Barbarian. Initial sources suggest that his version is more closely based on the video games, meaning more horror and suspense. After 6 parts of the original film series under Paul W.S. Anderson, the first reboot was attempted in 2021 with Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. However, it fell short of expectations and was not as successful as its predecessors. Netflix also tried its hand at the franchise in 2022 with the Resident Evil series, but also without any success. So, the series was cancelled after just 1 season and was considered a flop shortly after its release. One can only hope that this new attempt will finally satisfy the fans. The chaos surrounding John Wick 5 is not over. Just a few days ago, Keanu Reeves himself stated that no further John Wick film was being planned. Now the producers have made a statement and provided a completely different update. Jennifer Brown is head of global products and experiences at film distributor Lionsgate. At the request of comicbook.com, she's now confirmed once again that John Wick 5 was in development. At the John Wick Experience in Las Vegas, she explained, "This world continues to grow and expand in incredible ways. Up next, of course, we have Ballerina, which is our first spin-off movie. Of course, we've announced we're working on a 5th John Wick film. He may be dead. We're all on bated breath waiting to find out. Now, the big question remains. Will Keanu Reeves return as John Wick? His previous statement that no sequel was planned now seems questionable. In an interview with Extra, Keanu Reeves made it clear that his iconic character has died in the 4th installment of the action series. Quote, the character's dead. He died in John Wick Chapter 4. The actor had already mentioned at the end of last year that the physical strain was increasingly noticeable after 10 years as John Wick. Reeves, who is now 60 years old, was already in his late 40s when he first appeared in the role. So it is understandable that he wants to leave the exhausting action part behind him. Nevertheless, in Hollywood, there's always the possibility of bringing back deceased characters. And a John Wick movie without John Wick would no doubt be unimaginable for most fans. It remains unclear how the project will develop in the upcoming months. First of all, however, we can look forward to the spin-off Ballerina with Ana de Armas, which is due to be released on June 6th. And there's also another spin-off about Donnie Yen's character Kane in the works, which will tie in with the plot of the 4th film. The rumors surrounding the casting of the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to grow. According to insider Jeff Schneider, Jesse Plemons is now apparently being considered for the role of Hank McCoy, better known as Beast. Jesse Plemons, known from series and movies such as Breaking Bad, Civil War, and Killers of the Flower Moon, has long been a fan favorite for the role of Beast. Should Plemons actually be cast, this would lay an important foundation for the new X-Men team in the MCU. Beast is not only a physically imposing character, but also a brilliant scientist and strategist who plays a central role within the X-Men. In addition, Stranger Things star Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Harris Dickinson as Cyclops, Julia Butters as Kitty Pryde, and Euphoria actress Hunter Schafer in the role of Mystique are apparently on Marvel's wish list. However, official confirmation is still pending. The new X-Men film is to be written by Michael Leslie, who was also responsible for the prequel The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and filming is apparently set to start as early as next year. The potential release dates for the X-Men reboot are July 23, 2027 and November 5, 2027. As always, you can find even more exciting news in the KinoCheck app. Download it now and you'll always stay well informed about the world of movies and series. So, what has you excited this week? Does Sadie Sink fit in with Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Are you up for Keanu Reeves as an immortal warrior? And would you celebrate a return of the Defenders in the MCU? We look forward to reading your comments. And in case you missed it, here's some more news that will pique your interest. The MCU is heading for a gigantic finale, as Marvel fans are eagerly awaiting the upcoming movies. A number of concept images for Avengers 5 Doomsday have now been leaked, revealing some details about the plot. In this section, we talk about the content and the meaning of the images, so there's some risk for spoilers. However, we're unable to show the leaks here for legal reasons. So if you want to know even more, have a look at the news on KinoCheck.com or the KinoCheck app. Now, although Marvel is still remaining silent about the plot of the 2 Avengers movies, the concept images speak for themselves. Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., will have a key role, emerging victorious in the first confrontation with the Avengers. The incursions established by Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness lead to the collapse of the multiverse, and the remaining fragments of reality merge to form the Battle World, a new realm over which Doom rules as a godlike emperor. In one of the images, Dr. Doom can be seen sitting on a huge throne in his castle. Kneeling before him is Reed Richards, while Doctor Strange and Yelena Belova seem to be working for him, all wearing medieval-inspired costumes. The images also depict different regions of the battle world. For example, Hulk, once again played by Mark Ruffalo, as well as She-Hulk and Hulk's son Scar, all live in a medieval village. Further scenes come from the Fantastic Four First Steps and confirm the appearance of Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. In the comics, Franklin Richards plays a crucial role in reconstructing the universe after Doom's fall. This could be the perfect introduction to integrate the X-Men into the MCU. Another surprise is the return of an Ultron variant, interpreted as Jocasta. In the comics, Jocasta was originally created by Ultron before joining the Avengers. There's also been long speculation about a younger Avengers team. The concept images now seem to confirm its existence under the name Champions. The members include Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, Billy Kaplan, as well as his brother Tommy, and the mysterious creature Dupe. Interestingly, Wong and Star-Lord act as mentors of the team. Another scene shows Star-Lord as Vision's roommate, which will probably be further explored in the Vision Quest series. A new Black Panther could also be introduced into the MCU, and this is not particularly surprising, as there's been frequent speculation about a return of T'Challa in recent months. Various designs show an alternative version of the hero, including a variant without a helmet. Fans speculate that this could be F1 actor Damson Idris, who has already been talked about as a possible successor. However, contrary to all expectations, it could possibly also be his son, who was introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. After all, several years have passed since the sequel, so an adult version of the character is feasible. Now, although the concept images appear to be real, there's no guarantee that all of it will end up in the final movie. Marvel has not yet officially commented on this, and some of these ideas could still be scrapped. However, it's clear from the leak that Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 will stick closely to the comics. Avengers 5 Doomsday will still have its premiere on May 1st, 2026, and Avengers 6 Secret Wars will then follow a year later on May 7th, 2027. There's disappointing news from the world of Middle-earth. The latest movie in the fantasy franchise, The Hunt for Gollum, was originally scheduled for release in 2026. But as the portal The Direct has now learned from Gollum actor Andy Serkis, this date can no longer be met. According to Serkis, they're currently only in the early stages of the writing process. In the course of 2025, they want to make all the preparations so that filming can begin in 2026. The theatrical release date has been pushed back by 1 year compared to the previous plan. So instead of December 2026, the new adventure from Middle-earth is now slated for December 2027. The movie title The Hunt for Gollum already gives us a first indication of the plot. According to initial theories, the film will probably be set more or less at the same time as the beginning of The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. The story centers on Gollum, who is being sought by several factions due to his knowledge of the whereabouts of the ring. One thing is certain, Andy Serkis will once again slip into the iconic role of Gollum. The actor already portrayed Gollum in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies with the help of motion capture. Furthermore, Andy Serkis will also direct the film. The screenplay is being worked on by Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh, among others. Together with Peter Jackson, the two of them wrote all of the screenplays for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. And of course, Jackson also directed these projects. But for The Hunt of Gollum, he's only involved as a producer this time. Vin Diesel is in a chatty mood. In an Instagram post, the Hollywood star goes into great detail and gives us an in-depth update on his upcoming film projects. Among other things, he talks about a possible Guardians of the Galaxy spin-off and Fast X Part 2. Diesel's most important words for Marvel fans: Disney wants their Planet X. This refers to a film about the character Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy series. The movie will be about Groot's return to his home planet. Vin Diesel is the voice actor for the character, and he last dubbed Groot in the animated series I Am Groot on Disney+. The actor also states that he's spoken to the studio Lionsgate about the future of his character Calder, who's the protagonist of the 2015 film The Last Witch Hunter. A new installment of the XXX series is also being planned. In the movies, Diesel plays the main character Xander Cage. With Rock'em Sock'em, a so-called testosterone-charged answer to Barbie, is also in development. Behind the project is toy company Mattel. Diesel also hopes to sit in the director's chair soon. He'd like to make a detective film in a New York setting. First up for the Hollywood star, however, are probably Riddick 4 and, of course, Fast X Part 2. Filming for the grand finale of the action series is set to take place this summer.